A good native Shabbos, Parshas Kedoshim, Tafshim Pei Beis, logging in. So we're dialing in to Tafshim Pei Beis, Parshas Kedoshim. Kedoshim is Kadosh. If you can be mizbayin and meditate on the words Kedoshim, for all that have been exercising the brain to meditate, to hold on something, to be mindful. We all know that that doesn't really work, but this does work. If you're going to be holding a thought, hold it on the word Kedoshim. It should be let it penetrate in your brain. It works the same as when you look at your phone too much, and it just burns in the image in your head. When you close your eyes, all you can see is the phone. We go through so many different processes, so many different projections are being projected at us, at our energetic expression, energetic body, that by the time we close our eyes, there's so much noise and confusion that I can't see or differentiate in anything. I don't know what's coming or going, and I've been completely hijacked and taken over by something else, a force. It shows up. It shows up in conflict. It shows up. You know how many times one decides to, I'm going to change my way of acting, behaving, expressing myself, eating, thinking, being, showing up, and then instead there is I failed again, and then I can't, no, this is not for me, I can't do this, I'm not built for this, I will never change, I will never be what I need to be. All that is being projected by someone else. All that is being projected by someone else. Now, if you think that you are strong-minded and you want to hold on your commitments and all that, you're not. You've been infiltrated. You're being taken advantage of. And a merkava means somebody else is riding on your energy, on your koyach. All that happens from everything that we do while not being mindful. While I'm not being mindful, it's like having a door open to the house and anybody can come in or out. So too, the brain is one massive window, and it's able to process everything, and it holds everything. It never forgets anything. You still remember your childhood, and beyond that it's all processed and stored within yourself. This is what our makeup is. And now we've been infiltrated by choshech, we've been infiltrated by paroi, the nachash, whatever you want to call it, to function on his way, the way he wants me to function. And then of course that goes with the food that we eat, because low frequency needs to feed the low frequency. So a low frequency thought has to be fed by a low frequency food. A low frequency food is going to be then worked up and burned by a low frequency conversation, which is going to lead to an argument. Which to this comes the Torah, the Heilige Torah, and tells us, Vadabar Hashem, Dabar el kol adas b'nei Yisrael, v'amarta aleim kedoshim tiyu. You should be holy. You should be mindful. Kedoshim, kadosh means separation. Kadoshim muvdul. I keep separating myself. It's like touching a very fast spinning wheel. You touch and you get away. It's still too fast, until you tap into it, until you become one with it. You become the spinning wheel. And you get into the eye of the storm where there's the calmness. And when a yid gets into the eye of the storm and the calmness, we find Kedoshim. Kadosh. Why? What happens to Kadosh? Ki Kadosh ani. I am Kadosh. I am holy. I am Kadosh Muvdul. Hashem Elokeichem. Yudke Vavke. Higher conscience. Something that is in the ayin. Something that I can't touch and feel. It's in the soiviv, so to speak. Elokeichem. Everything that comes into the bricks and the blocks in the physical world is the same thing. It's just that we're showing up from the physical world, from the chomer, from the end game. And from there, I'm going inward, until I've backed myself into, as I keep separating myself, I back myself into Kadosh Ani, into purity, into Kadosh Mivdul, and what you find over there is the essence and the core of who you are, of who we are, and that is the purity. The tafkid of a yid is to bring down light into the world. Lamplighters. Each and every one of us are lamplighters. We're power generators. If you take the Yid out of this universe, there won't be any light. There is nothing. It's lights out. You are a light generator. You have the responsibility to generate light, to generate power, generate light. You can take that and stuff it into Nukva Tohem Rabba and bring negativity in there. That is, if you clothe yourself in the gloves of the other side, or you can tap into, back yourself in the Kaddish Ani, which is, why am I doing? Kadoshim Ti is like Kaddish Atzchon B'Mittelach. You should purify yourself with even what you're allowed to do, should also be Kaddish. Now, the way we understood this until now, while we're still working from breaking, from Mata Maila, from doing the work from Sigufim, from going through a painful process of Eskafia and Eshapcha, turning over, but no longer is that. The word of Hashem has revealed to us the way of Noyam, Mesikis, everything is sweet. I'm doing all the Kaddish Atzchon B'Mittelach, says the Rebbe, and Amaimer says the Rebbe, that not that you should not eat, not that you should not eat what you're allowed to eat. You should, even that you shouldn't do. You should put yourself through Sigifim. On the contrary, Kaddish Atzchon B'Mittelach, what you're allowed to do, you should do, but do it mindfully. Understand that there is Dvar Havaya in everything that you're doing. Every conversation that takes place, anything that you eat, anything that you do, pleasurable. Anything, ben ish le'ishta, when you're together with your wife, when you're interacting with your children, whatever you're doing is kikadosh ani, kadosh atzchma mitalach. You're doing it because you are a vessel of light, and Hashem, this light wants to be expressed in everything and in anything, and through you, He's coming through. You're becoming a channel for this type of expression, and this is how you're going to be lamplighting in that darkness that before that wasn't done mindfully. That's the job, kikadosh ani. So we are here in we're counting the Omer, powerful days, very strong days. I mean, it's so much clarity is coming in, and the work is just we're transforming into something more soft, something more translucent, something more just light and oiris. It's almost like the kalim and the oir are one. The vessels and the flow through it is being overtaken by, the vessel is being saturated by this light, by the oir. So there's almost no chaymer, and when there's no chaymer, which is the harshness, it takes away from the brick, from the cement of the makeup of the body, the way I see things and the way I receive things. When you throw something at something hard, it's going to break. But when you throw something on something soft, it's going to take it in. So we're in the days of Sira, in the sphere days, we're saturated. We're becoming saturated from this light by counting it, by loosening the muscle, by becoming aware of the tightness of where we are tight. And from there, we're able to just be present, to be present. So we're counting the Omer, we're moving the equalizer, the gauges is we're getting closer to the day. Today is Yesod שבתפארת. Shamrim, Yismachu. Yesod שבתפארת is, so we have like this. We have Chesed, Gevura, Teferes, Netzach Hod Yesod, Malchus. All these are the midas, they're the attributes. And from there, my chesed is my kindness, my gevura is my restraint. Teferes is balance. Then I have the netzach, which is netzach netzachim, victory, victorious, confidence. Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. No matter where he goes, he's always going to end up on the right side, because ultimately, even if you do it from an egotistical place, you will still find the ultimate, the deep intention and desire is because kikadosh ana, you are pure and you are holy. You are light, you have good intentions. So even if you have to go through the process of elimination or of conquering or becoming, it's only a process, but really the landing is Kikadosh Anu. We are separated. You are Kadosh Imuvdal. There's one more thing. It's important to know that the final avodah is going to be where it says that tzaddikim are also going to have to do tshuva. Where did I see this? I don't remember. Maybe from the Rebbe. So what happens is, so why does the tzaddik have to do tshuva? Why does he have to repent? He's a tzaddik. So there's two reasons. A, because it's endless game. There's always levels. So every day there's a level of growth where the tzaddik becomes more aware of oneness. And ultimately, then there is the final destination is that we're gonna become aware of our yeshes, our ego. It was from the Rebbe, yes, and a mimer. We're going to become aware of our ego and our yeshes, that too is Eibishter, that too is Creator. Now that is a very, very delicate, intense job, because once I become aware of myself, then my ego, then I am, and if I am, then we're not connected to it, to oneness. So it's almost like transferring over from one dimension to another dimension. And how do you do that? How am I completely surrendered while I'm aware of myself? How do I hold on to self while I'm surrendered to a higher, to oneness? But ikvas Mashiach, we are doing this work. The tzaddik doesn't have this job because the tzaddik has no ego. Libi chalal bekirbi, it's no, there's nothing there. He has no ra in him. We are given this. We have this opportunity. We have the opportunity to bring in a godliness, oneness in a physical goof. Why? Because we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom, seen it all, done it all, experienced it, felt the pain, dealt with it, while the tzaddik sits and davens wrapped in his talis and tefillin and learns, and he's bringing down, generating positive light for us to be in the front lines and do the work. They give us the strength. We are actually processing where the ego is already like, I really don't care, it doesn't matter, there's so much pain, there's so much disappointment, such betrayal, that my whole ego is completely surrendered, that I already get that even the me is it. My ego is completely surrendered to it, to the higher purpose, to become a kaddish, to become a lamplighter. So Yesod is when after we collect all the work, all the midas that we've done, which is the chesed, gevura, and the teferes, netzchot, Yesod takes all that, takes the thought and puts it in the Yesod, which is the delivery, the messenger, and he delivers it into Malchus. Same way a baby is born, husband and wife, so too we become the processors. We take our thoughts, we collect it, it goes into Yesod, and I take that and I project that and I plant that seed in my world, whatever your world is. Whatever your desire is, make sure it's a positive desire. It is positive no matter what, because we did Netzach already, and you can't go wrong with this. So make sure that the Yesod is to project. I'm taking that and I'm planting that into the Malchus. So today we're wrapping up here tomorrow night, but we're doing today and tomorrow for now. Yesod Sebetferes, very powerful, colorful day. Teferes is beauty, it's balance. There's balance, there's beauty. Without balance, there is no beauty. Automatically, there's beauty and balance. And then we have the Yesod now, all the work and everything that you've done, understanding that even my thoughts that were not 100%, that too was just a bitter that had to happen. This is part of the bitter that we're doing in Sphere, that we have the audacity to take on such delicate work where I can take a thought that I had and say, I own that. I had a negative thought or not a positive thought. And that too, it's a part of where I am. It's not my higher self. It's my body. It's something that one of my midas that had to be mavater. I'm not going to use the word elevate. I'm going to use the word bitter, because halah is only for tzaddikim, but bitter is for us too, for the beinanim. Va'amach kulam tzaddikim. We're going to go there too, because the people are here. We're expressing deep desires for the love to become tzaddikim. I think I'm going with it. What do we have to lose? What's the alternative, right? Nobody really cared when you're in the struggle and you're in the spin. Nobody really comes and tell you, hey, you may be too much. You may be experiencing too much pain. Maybe you should catch a break. So we're also going to go to the other extreme. And the Rebbe says, the Alter Rebbe says many times in Chassidus, dafke. The word dafke is go in his face. We're going to go dafka all the way, doubling down all the way. So that was probably the reason why we were pushed all the way to the end, so we can come back with chutzpah and azaz the kedusha and say we're going all the way to the right. Yeah, it's a strong day. Yesod שבתפארת is taking all this and planting it, and we have Shamrim, protected, Shmira, Yismechu, which should be Yismechu is Simcha. Yes, yeah, it's all the good stuff. Shai Nahoiris, Machu, upmaking, erasing, deleting everything else. In other words, once the light comes in, it just deletes everything else that was in the way of that, everything else that was holding the vessel from, the vessel was blocking for the light, for the oil to be expressed. So, yes, awesome lichting in Shabbos, Parshas Kadoshim. It's important to live Medaf Leben mit der Zeit. I was having this discussion this week actually, and the Vart is as follows: that if I'm always surrendered, if I'm fully surrendered and I'm present, what do I do? What do I gauge? If I'm surrendered and if I don't listen to the news that's distracting me, and I don't, how do I go forward? Tells us the Rebbe Medaf Leben mit der Zeit. Be in the conversation. This week we are checking into Kadoshim. We are in the cloud called Kadoshim, purity, and it's everything else that you've been doing this week, that you've been working on. Shaisis Yom Tavit, where your light has manifested this week. You were spread out into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday is the time where we start with coming back of a Yom Shvi, Shavuos Vayinafash. Come back to yourself, regenerate. What's the reason? What's the goal? Why am I doing all this? Because this is where I find myself. It's the power of, it's in the from the no we find the yes. Yeah, we covered this week. From the no we find the yes. Also, important to note that we do the Perek now in the summer. We do Perek. You don't have to do the whole thing. You do one Mishnah. The idea of this is as follows: that now Adam Eitz Hasada, we are like the trees in the field, and the trees start popping. They start blossoming in Chodesh Nisan. So too, we start blossoming in Chodesh Nisan. We did this by the Shir. I'm just repeating this for those who don't listen to the full Shir. So we have. That's where the allergies are coming. We are being triggered. We're being triggered. Our brain there's expansion. There is shift. Some people, their bodies start aching at this time. Really Pesach is a time of cleansing. We have a light diet. We can get into that on another note. So the body can go through the shift. As this shift is happening, when my mind opens up and it starts expanding, I mean, we covered in the allergies. That's why the allergies are there. Really, if you walk in the park, you almost feel like lightheaded. It's too strong. It's like having a strong coffee wherever there is a lot of pollen. So that is meant to trigger us into a higher alert, to become alert and a higher awareness. Because we are blocked and we can't flow with it, we sneeze and it becomes itchy, and there's a backup and a clog in the system. But if you channel this properly, breathing calmly, staying calm, not to give into this and just processing it one at a time, it's almost like it's a process. It's a process that you can process yourself, to clean yourself and to regenerate and tap into a higher koyach, a stronger koyach. So we learn Perek. Why do we do Perek? Because Perek is Mishnayos, it's Mishnah, and the Mishnah feeds the Neshama. So we give the food for the soul as the Neshama is opening up. As it's opening up means that my guf, my midas are allowing for my higher conscious to come in here. So what am I doing? I'm giving it high frequency food. What's the high frequency food for the Neshama? Is a Mishnah Neshama. So tap into that, take one Mishnah, discuss it, learn it, go over with it, or become one with it, learn Le'ilonishma somebody, connect yourself with the tzaddikim, with your own tzaddik, with your children, your wife, and have an awesome Shabbos. And do we need to say that Chaver should make l'chaim, and everybody should say l'chaim? Yes, we always have to say that, because people forget. We got stuck and we forget. So Kadash Atam Atzchum B'Mittelach. Did I finish the point? Yeah, I did say this, that the Yeshus has to become, we recognize that everything is one. And so have l'chaim mindfully. drive it. Where do I want to go with this? What's my intention? And yes, l'chaim, all the brachas.